Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Living Room Stage and Gallery brought to you by IVCC Theater Department. We took a couple weeks off there to celebrate Labor Day. Hope you had a good, safe Labor Day. And we're back. We've been doing this since about March, so we're in quite a few months of it now. And our goal, of course, is to keep the area arts in the public view here, since we're all kind of on hold thanks to the coronavirus and everything. And we're trying to be creative. We've had some great guests on the show. We've had folks that have performed on Broadway and are performing on Broadway tours. We've had local artists. We've had so many great guests throughout these last few months. And we will keep doing this because, well, you know what they always say, theater is the only business that's been going out of business for 300 years. So we'll be back. We'll be back. It's just a very long intermission. I do want to remind you that at the end of next month, October, we have Terror in the Isles. It's going to be streamed online because that's the safest way to do it. And this will be our annual Halloween show. It's always been very popular. We're going to do it as a viewing party just for our Facebook members there, of which there are so many of you first. So you'll be the first to see it. And then we'll put it on our YouTube channel so everybody can see it. If you're not one of our Facebook page members at IVCC Fine Arts, please do that. We talk about events going on not just at IVCC and our theater department, but all the goings on around the area, both the visual and performing arts of all kinds. So make sure you join us on the page because pretty soon there's going to be some stuff to see somehow, somewhere. We've also got a holiday show coming up. Also, if you are an aspiring performer, if you're one of our previous performers and you didn't put your hat in the ring to be a part of Terror in the Isles, we are still in the formative process of that. We have had quite a bit of response, but please contact me at my email. That's all listed in the page description for IVCC Fine Arts. All right, that's getting enough business out of the way there. All right, tonight's guest, I know from quite a ways back. I know her mother quite well. And when we had the Follies Theater in Utica, with Follies Productions is still going on, but when we had the theater in Utica, this young lady performed for us, but and so did her mom, actually, for a couple shows. So I'm delighted to have her because she's gonna tell us all about a place that so many people are big fans of, and that's Walt Disney World down in Florida, right? She's been a cast member there in the entertainment department for 9 years. 9 years she's been there, and she's had great opportunity. Now, before I bring her on, I have to tell you, we've had a lot of students and we've had a lot of friends that have gone through either the college program or go down there to perform. And for instance, a good friend of ours who's well, he was out on a Broadway tour, uh, was cast as one of the many Goofies, the costume character. Now, on social media or venues like this, no cast member is allowed to say, yes, that's me in the Goofy suit, or yeah, I played Goofy. The technical term that they have to use is, I'm friends with Goofy. So Hannah and I will be talking about all the people that she's friends with because she's wink, wink, friends with a whole lot of them. She is a singer, she's a dancer, she's a performer, and I'd like to welcome her to the IVCC living room stage. Please welcome Hannah Marincic. You there, Hannah? There you are. Hey,
I had
hello.
to. It's the rules.
I don't have any. I don't have any.
These probably won't last long. They're not very comfortable.
Uh, um, I did. I have not been to Disney in so long. My daughter was younger, and she's 32 now, so or 33. I don't know.
A
I'm
lady
far
never
too.
tells.
I know, and I'm far too young to have a 30-something-year-old daughter. Uh,
Absolutely.
yeah, but yeah, we took her down many times, and I assume I'll be coming back fairly soon because we have a
I
grandson
was going
now.
to say,
And
time to bring the grandbaby.
yeah, he needs to grow a little bit. He's only like 1.5 now,
Yeah,
so
I won't remember that.
yeah. Nah. I always see people pushing the strollers and think, really? And I think you're here because you like Disney, right?
Yeah. Which there's nothing wrong with, it is,
No.
I used to think the same thing that, this child is teeny tiny. They're not going to remember anything, but it also
Uh,
is just as cool for the parents to
that's
see
right.
everything through their kids' eyes. It's
Right.
more
Oh,
magical for them. But,
that's kind of what we experienced with Lexi when she was little. She
mhm.
was awestruck. I think the Little Mermaid. I'm going to make a confession here. Disney, I've not really kept up on all that much. When she was little, we saw everything. Um,
Mhm.
and we had a virtual variety show, and somebody did something from Little Mermaid, I think it was. And I recognized it. But I said, I guess I'm not the biggest Disney fan in the world. And every one of the people on my screen went, what? So I got chastised. So I did do a little research on these characters that you're friends with throughout the thing. How long you been there?
I started out in 2009. I did a college program from March through August. Been in entertainment the whole time. I skipped choir one day and in college said, sorry, Pete, I'll be back. And I hopped on the train and went downtown to an audition
Right.
sometime in 2008. I don't even remember where I got the idea, where I saw the posting, but an audition later, and there I was. So I did that for 6 months, and then I was seasonal status. Just went down like once a year until 2012 when I moved back down here in the fall.
Okay. Been there ever since.
Ever since.
So you have moved from a state that has 4 distinct seasons to Florida.
That
How
has one.
are you? Yeah, that has one. And the state bird
No,
is
there's two,
humidity.
hot and hotter.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're not kidding.
Yeah.
Uh,
So have, have you embraced it, or do you miss the seasonal changes?
Both. I don't miss shoveling snow, but I miss the white at Christmas time.
Yeah.
But even like January, we'd be doing uh, driver training, float driver training in the middle of the night. And it's still, even if it's cool, then it's freezing cold because it's still humid.
Yeah, I
There's
know.
just no getting away from it.
And you're so used to the warm climate that when it gets like, 45, it's like, oh my God, I'm
Yeah,
dying.
my mother laughs at me, but anything below 50 here is cold.
I
Not that,
understand.
but 50 here is different than 50 there because it is
Right.
just that damp that soaks right
Yeah.
through you.
Yeah. I lived in California for a while, and everybody said, "Oh, you'll miss the snow at Christmas." And I said, I doubt it. And I really
Christmas, but not the
didn't.
rest of the year.
Yeah, yeah. I was actually good with it, but then it's like I kind of missed the changing seasons and
I do
stuff.
miss fall.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, my sinuses don't miss fall, but
Yeah.
I
Well, we
can't.
have our own allergy season here too. It's just like in February, which makes no sense.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Let's talk about Disney. All right,
Yeah.
so you have done because you've been friends with many characters here and there
Mm-hmm.
over the years.
Pluto, Rafiki, Mr. Smee, Mrs. Incredible, Carl from Up, Bolt, the Easter Bunny, Mr. and Mrs.
Mhm.
Jacques, Cinderella's mouse,
Okay.
Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather, the three good fairies. I
Oh,
get to
okay.
play with them sometimes. They're lots of
They're
fun.
from. Don't tell me. Sleeping Beauty.
Yes,
Oh,
very good.
okay.
I'm proud
All
of you.
right.
Because that's an old one. You would have known that one.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that I think I saw when I was a kid. Pretty
Yeah.
sure. Dating myself here, and then you, and you've been in their various performance. Yeah, I know they have different choirs and different things seasonally throughout the year, and you've performed in those.
Yeah, the Candlelight Processional at Epcot is this huge Christmas concert
Right.
where they have a celebrity guest narrator who reads the story of Christmas. And there's like a 50-piece orchestra, and they invite guest choirs from all around. I mean, high schools, colleges, church choirs. But then they have a choir made up of just cast members, average employees who audition to be in the choir. So I've done that since like 2013,
Right.
except for this year because they're not doing it. But
Yeah. This year is
that's been a lot of fun too. I've gotten to sing with quite a few, been this far away from quite a few celebrities. So that was pretty cool.
And you also have recently driven floats in the parade.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing mostly lately. When I first moved down here, I was doing a lot of just regular helping with meet and greets and dining, that kind of thing. Um, and then I think it was November of like 13, I got
Okay.
parade orientation. So I could start doing the Main Street Electrical Parade, where I spent all of my time, and then got trained in day parade. But I learned to drive the electrical parade floats. They start you on the little ones, and then they teach you the slightly bigger ones. And then the electrical parade left, and now I do all the great big ones, which I said I'd never do. But here I am driving all the big ones, and now I teach people how to drive the big ones.
Oh,
I'm a driver
geez.
trainer. So
Was that a little intimidating, driving these huge floats?
the fire breathing dragon, you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, all
You
of
know
them.
what?
There are
We have a
plenty.
picture, I believe, of Hannah driving the fire
Sure do.
breathing dragon in a parade. By the way, Chad Brokaw is our producer for the show, and he furiously searches for these. So let's take a look at you with the.
Hi, Chad.
Wow, that is impressive. How
If
big
you
is
look
that?
down in her tummy there, you can kind of see me just a little. That's the only one where the driver's visible. There you go. In my bright red lipstick. I call this my dragon lipstick. I have to wear the bright red lipstick when I'm driving the dragon.
Well, of course, of course. And your costume matches the float, I see.
Mm-hmm. It's
That's
also fire retardant, just in case.
oh, just in case. Let's go back to the long shot of that. That's cool. How big is
Yeah.
he? He looks good. A good 20.
Oh, yeah. She's probably, I think, like 25 foot tall and 35 feet long, something like that. Yeah.
And you get to decide when the fire belches out.
It's time to the music, actually.
Oh,
So I don't have to do anything. I'm just driving. That's all I got to worry about.
so
They
you
do
just
have also an actual like trained pyrotechnician who walks with the float and has a little remote control. They're kind of hiding in their hand.
okay.
So it's time to the music, but then they still have to hit the okay button every single
Right.
time, just in case, the driver screws up and gets a little too close to a building, or like a duck's flying in front. That happens a lot. We've almost had roast duck a few times if a duck
Really?
goes flying by the front of the float right before she's about to fire. So we always have that last minute human element. Of course, the computer has a million checks to make sure that her
Sure.
head is up and her mouth is open and all that kind of thing. But we
And
also
what,
still have that human who has to say yes every time.
of course. And what all actions does she do? Turn her head, flap her
Oh my
wings,
gosh, yes,
everything.
she's stunning. Her head goes, her neck goes, her jaw goes, and it's not just up and down. She even has ball joints. So she does this. It's very, reptilian kind of
Right.
crawling down the street, and her arms and legs go. So she's just stunning. Her eyes light up. It's my favorite.
Now, do you follow these floats? Do they follow the tracks that go all throughout, or are they
No.
independent? They don't? Okay.
Yeah, there's no track. That's my
Wow.
job. I heard a tour group saying that one time. They have guest tour groups that'll come down like into the tunnel and to see the parade building and stuff. And some of the tour guides every once in a while will say, oh yeah, there's a track in the road. All the drivers are doing is pressing the gas and brake. And I had to laugh to myself. I've been doing so much extra work this whole time. Why didn't no one tell me? As I'm sitting there as a driver trainer. But yeah, no, all the speed and the steering is all us. So there are times that something gets a little screwed up and maybe we have to back some things up and, stuff happens every once in a while, but not too often. We
Now,
have a really good training program. So
this year, obviously things are all different. You're not doing the big parades, right?
correct. Yeah, I'm still on furlough, but even the people who are back, since they can't do up close meet and greets with the characters, they're just putting all the characters on floats and having a cavalcade. So it's not even really a parade because it's just one float that goes by at a time because they don't want to collect a crowd is the whole point. So at the moment, they're just having, a random one float go by with a couple characters on the way back.
A video somebody posted on a waterway too, boats that cruise by with the characters.
Yeah, they got Chip and Dale on the riverboats.
I did love Chip and Dale. When I was a kid, I was got a huge kick out of them. Huge kick out of them.
They can get away with anything too.
They can.
I love it.
They're chipmunks,
Right, exactly.
Come on. You talked about the underground. What's the technical term? The tunnels?
We all just call it the tunnel. The technical term is the utilidor because it's not actually a tunnel in the legal definition. It's not underground, like as in below the water table. Think of it as you build a 2-story house and then you decide you want a lake in front. So you scoop out the dirt and build it up around your house so that now it looks like your house is a 1-story house. with
Okay,
a lake out
sure.
front. So that's actually what happened with the lagoon in front of Magic Kingdom. The
Oh,
utilidor is first level, and then they just built everything up over that. So the park is technically, most of it anyway, is technically on the second story. Fun
huh.
fact.
I think I heard that
Mhm.
someplace. And how many, or do you even know how many entrances, the hidden entrances, I assume, are there throughout the park, or at least in the Magic? Uh,
There's one main one for like delivery carts and that kind of
yeah,
thing. But as far
yeah,
as pedestrian, there's tons of spots where people can come up because that's the whole point is
right.
you don't want to see someone in a Tomorrowland costume walking through Adventureland. It ruins
Yeah,
the effect.
right,
So there's ways for people to get anywhere they need to.
right. Cool. And do they have transportation underneath, like golf carts or anything, if you have to
Mhm,
walk great distances? I figure.
mhm. Or
Shuttles.
else if yeah, they call them pargos down here. I don't know why, so I don't I've become incapable of using the term golf cart. I think it was a brand at one point, but that's just Disney
Oh,
nomenclature. They call them
could be.
pargos.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, golf carts, electric golf carts, because obviously you don't want to have anything with emissions in an
Yeah.
enclosed tunnel. But yeah, it's a whole system that runs under the whole park.
Well, so have you, I know you've met a ton of friends down there and made a lot of friends from this area, from the Illinois Valley area. Um, have you run into people that you go, oh, I'm from there too, that are working down there?
Yeah. One that I knew about went to grade school with me in Oglesby and went to LP, but she's seasonal, so I don't see her
Oh,
too often. But every once in a
yeah.
while, I'll run into her in the tunnel. Oh my gosh, hi Jennifer.
Ah,
But there have been quite a few people that one of the show directors for quite a
uh,
few of our parades and shows is from Joliet. Uh, the one of our drivers who's been there forever, and also uh, is very good friends with Santa Claus occasionally in the parade.
oh, okay.
Grew up in Spring Valley till he was like 10.
No
So
kidding.
there's, yeah. His name tag says Bloomington because that's where he is mostly
Oh,
from, but still, like he lived in Spring Valley for a little while. So yeah, I'm surprised there's a ton of people from Illinois. One of my
wow.
best friends is from Kankakee, so
There you go. There you go. Well, I
lots of
know,
us.
oh, her name's gonna, I don't, Kalia Winner, from Mendota. She'd be, I think, younger than you a little bit. I don't know. She was down there a lot. Um,
Uh,
it's like saying,
Jillian, there's a girl from Mendota that
Okay.
was in entertainment and now does office work kind of stuff.
Huh. I'm being told my mic is very quiet. See if this is any better. Chad, is that any better? I'll put it like in my mouth. I'll project. Better? That's better.
We do theater. We can do
Yeah, we do theater. Yeah.
that.
I had I think I posted it on our Facebook, our Ivy Facebook page, where it said, you all made fun of those loud theater kids in grade school. Now they're
Yep.
the only ones you can hear through
We
the
could
masks.
project
So,
through our masks. Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So I know that in light of the circumstances, all guests there have to wear a mask, right? Everybody been good about that? Not a
Um,
lot of,
for the most part, I would say yes. I mean, there's been a few
right.
stinkers who have put up a fuss, but
Yeah.
overall, because that's the rule, there are plenty of people around who are there to tell people, hey, make sure you have it all the way over your nose or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But
Huh. Um, Now, let's go back to the tunnels for a minute.
mhm,
So you were telling me right before we started that there are actually tours. So if you want to go behind the magic,
mhm,
you can sign up for a tour that takes you down there. And what I
mhm.
know they don't get to see how things are done, but they do get to see where the floats are stored and things like that.
Yeah, there's several tours of Magic Kingdom, but one of them does. There, I think a couple of them go down to the tunnel,
Hmm.
but there's one that goes to the tunnel. It comes down to the parade building where we store all the floats,
Yeah.
so they can see. While I'm because the other part of my job is cleaning the floats in the morning and making sure everything's ready to go, and then
Oh,
driving them
fun.
for parade. So they come down while I'm like scrubbing the bubble gunk off the whale float. It blows bubbles, so of course it gets those like soapy, dish soap suds. So I'm down
Oh,
there like scrubbing the whale, and these tours come in. I'm like, hey guys, I'm gonna come talk to you because I'm bored.
wow.
But you ride Haunted Mansion and Jungle Cruise is part of the tour. You get to walk right on, and they do a lot
Okay.
of behind the scenes, like how they made this animatronic and how they came up with the idea for that. It's like, it's a really cool
Really?
5-hour tour, and they give you lunch and everything. So
Wow.
it's really
Now,
neat.
um, you get to be a guest when the park is not full and they have limited capacity now. You get to be a guest because I'm friends with you on Facebook, of course, and you,
I've gone several
excuse me,
times already since we
several,
reopened.
yeah,
I'm not doing
and
anything else.
I know. um, the but you get to go to the park. What I know it's hard to choose. It's hard to choose, but what of the attractions, such as a haunted house or the haunted mansion, rather, or Jungle Cruise, or any of the big attractions? Which one is your absolute favorite that you have to do every time?
Haunted Mansion
Haunted Mansion.
or
I won't.
Pirates. It's a very close second. Pirates was my favorite for a while on my college program, but I think Haunted Mansion has eclipsed it.
Yeah, Johnny Depp's in there now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there truth to the rumor? Here we go. Is there truth to the rumor that the real Johnny was visiting and wore the costume and popped up in there a couple times, or is
I
that
hear that a
just?
lot, but I've never seen it here. I know he went to California after they added his animatronic, and I know he
Oh,
rode it
okay,
when it first opened in California. But
okay.
I know he still, I mean, he has the costume and will like go to children's hospitals and stuff, but I've never seen him or heard of him being in the
Yeah.
park.
It seems like I bet he has a lot of other things to do, but maybe that's fun for him. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. We get
Okay.
quite a few celebrities that do come though. There's always kind of
Oh,
scuttlebutt of there's the secret spot where they sit for parade. So we're always
yeah.
kind of on the lookout, or we'll hear rumors of who's here, or
Special
people see
little
something on
wave
social
over
media.
there.
Uh-huh.
Who's the biggest celebrity you've spotted in the park?
Chris Evans comes a lot. He really likes the parks. He used to come, he loved the electrical parade. So he used to come all the time around Christmas time, and then it left, and he
Okay.
put up a tweet. He was so sad. So
Uh,
he comes every once in a while. Although last year we knew Chris Evans was going to be there. Neil Patrick Harris comes with his family a lot. They always come for Halloween because they have the best Halloween costumes.
they do. They
Um,
do. They win.
they do. But last year I was driving the opening title float in the Halloween parade, and so of course, we knew, oh, Chris Evans is here. So I'm looking over, and oh my gosh, there's Chris Evans. I'm trying to freak out because of course we don't want to treat them any differently. They're here
Well,
on
no.
vacation. Like that's
Right.
not,
Right. Yeah.
um, but out of the corner of my eye, I'm like, I'm gonna wave at all of the people that are sitting around him, but I'm also
Yeah.
gonna wave at him. I'm not gonna not acknowledge him. But he was
Get a
just kind of
little.
sitting, he had his baseball cap, and he was kind of sitting in the back row
Yeah.
like this. And we were like,
Yeah.
hey Chris, how's it going? He's just
Yeah.
there all the time. But then about 2 weeks later, I look over, and who's sitting in VIP? Not even sitting, she was standing. Scarlett Johansson,
Oh.
her boyfriend, apparently he's famous too. They were standing there, like, couldn't wait for the parade to get there. She was like clapping and waving and dancing, and like Goofy went over and gave her a hug. Like, she was so excited. And I said, thank you, Scarlett Johansson. Would you mind telling Chris Evans how to watch a parade? Like, we're trying to entertain you here. You could pretend like you're having fun.
Yeah.
So
You can crack a smile. Yeah.
yeah.
We're gonna
Well,
look
and
at the
again, I know he's trying to like keep a low profile in the back.
right.
Hey,
Now
that's
this
me.
is the Halloween Boo to You parade,
Yes.
and I'm guessing last year or a
Yes.
previous year, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I've done that role a
Um,
couple of times.
right. And you're friends with this particular character, friends. And does this character
That's
have a
me.
name?
It's
Oh,
fine.
that's you. Okay,
It's
that's
me. That's
Hannah.
fine.
The dancer. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Of course,
because the
excellent.
float looks like it's called a push unit, meaning it looks like there's a
Right.
girl on the other side too to make it look like pushing it, but it is actually powered like a float.
Right.
It's got you can see my one hand has got on the joystick. So
Sure.
it still is technically a driver role, but I still get
Right.
the whole get up Halloween
But
get
yeah,
up. So
and cool costume.
oh yeah,
This
lots
is
of fun.
amazing.
And I love doing that because I can see, I'm not hiding in a float. I can see all the cool costumes that the guests come up with, because people are so creative, and some people go so all out for the Halloween parties with their
Right.
Halloween costumes. It's always the most fun getting to like react to people's costumes, because I'm not pretending to be anybody other than,
Oh,
me as a witch.
true. You can have fun. Well,
Oh
you can
yeah.
always have fun,
I
but
always have
when
fun.
you're yourself, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a little different. If you have questions for Hannah and you're watching on our YouTube channel and you're a member of our YouTube channel, drop them in there and Chad will pass them along to me, and we'll see We'll see what the
Try
answers
and
are
stump
here.
me. I dare you. Just
Try
kidding.
and stump her on trivia. I could never, I could never give you Disney trivia, and I, I I know all the basics. You know what my best trivia question is? It's about the Wizard of Oz.
Hmm.
What was the name of Professor Marvel's horse? Aha,
Yeah, you got me.
aha, Sylvester.
Does
It'll
he
be
say
fun.
it or is it on the wagon?
One line, poor little kid. I hope she gets home all right. Looks like a big storm blowing up some Sylvester.
Huh.
Keep
Never
that in your
picked up
back
on that.
pocket the
All
next time you
right.
want to get through that. All
Well,
right,
add that to all the Disney horses' names.
there, I can't. Again,
Philippe is Belle's horse. Samson is Prince Philip's horse.
okay.
I don't know if I can do all of them, but
Have you ever talked about or thought about auditioning for one of the Broadway versions of any of the um, or tour
um
of it?
actual like Broadway versions or tours, kind of sort
Tours?
of not really. There was a week or there was probably 2 weeks of senior year where I like really thought I was going to go into professional theater and got my headshots done and everything. And then I was like, yeah, but I kind of hate the city, so maybe
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
I have
There is
auditioned a
that.
ton down here for, there are some roles here that are equity,
Right.
Same as New York Actors Union. So
Sure.
anyone who is singing live or dancing on a stage, parade dancers don't count, but dancing on a stage, like the big one in front of the castle,
Right.
all those people are equity. So
Okay.
I've auditioned for a very long time for the Voices of Liberty, the a cappella group that's in America and Epcot. They're amazing.
Okay.
And I've gotten pretty far in the audition process several times, but the trouble is I would have to take a seasonal equity contract to start with. They don't just give you full time right off the bat, which is fair.
Oh,
They take
yeah.
people who are already seasonal equity, but
Right.
I can't be seasonal with equity and part or full time with the company in my normal job. So I would have to quit my job to maybe sing with them once a month.
Yeah. Equity's tough. They
Yeah.
have so many rules, and I
Yeah.
know I've been reading something on Broadway World or something like that where um, there's been the whole thing about the safety of the performers, and finally Disney and all that, and that's what all of us in the performing arts are up against. It's like we know we can, excuse me, we know we can socially distance an audience, but actors, that's a whole other.
Yeah. So they did finally work out it, like equity accepted Disney's terms is my understanding, but there still are only a handful of equity offerings that have come back thus far because there are some things you just can't do right now.
Yeah,
so
things get. Do they still do their fireworks and stuff? Because
not at the moment.
Wow.
Just because that's hard to keep
Big
people
crowds.
apart while they're people are going to crowd on Main Street.
Yeah.
So
yeah. It's a different world, and hopefully we're through this. Sometime in 2021 we'll start to see a.
Well, they're probably saving a lot of money on fireworks too. When you count 4 parks every night, the Disney Corporation is the single largest consumer of fireworks in the world.
I believe that.
Florida, California, Paris, Hong Kong, Shanghai, Tokyo, and the cruise line even does fireworks.
I was going to say, I knew the cruises did it because Eric did the cruises, and he said there were fireworks on the
Disney's
cruise.
the only cruise line that can shoot off fireworks from the boat.
Right.
Fun facts with Hannah.
Fun fact. Fun
I
Disney
have lots
facts.
Of them.
I'm usually on Royal Caribbean, and they're like, "Oh, have a drink, don't watch fireworks." One of my favorite things that you did, and you did this last season, from the Haunted Mansion, and I didn't jot her name down. Oh, I do want to go back to auditions too, but while we're on this,
speaking of Halloween,
I
got to assist last year.
You did, and I was so impressed. There is a character. Tell us about this character from the mansion, the bride. Her name is
Constance Hatchaway, carrying her hatchet. She is the murderous bride from the Haunted Mansion.
Right, that's her backstory, and she's dead. And in the parade, I noticed that your friend was gliding along the street, which I thought
in a ghostly manner.
In a ghostly manner.
Hmm.
And there is Constance,
There she is,
who bears a striking resemblance.
looking for husband number 6 here. She killed her first 5. She's on the hunt for husband number 6 as this parade goes by.
And what this reminded me, and I got a kick out of, I don't know if you watch old classic horror movies like House on Haunted Hill or the original Dracula, but whenever they wanted to portray creepy women gliding, they would roll past. And in those movies, it was like rolling in a straight line. But Constance here floats all over the street
She
and turns and
does.
spins.
She
Um,
does.
I have no idea how she does that.
uh, you might notice that when you watch the day parade and the fairies go by in front of the dragon that I drive, Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather, they fly because they have their little wings, but they also
Right,
have, they can spin and turn
right. They
and
spin, turn, and glide.
whirl, if you will,
Hmm.
with their flying wings. Of course, Constance doesn't need wings because she's a
No,
ghost; she can just float.
yeah,
But
she
they
just
they have
glides.
similar movement styles if you're
Hmm.
paying close attention to that sort of thing. That's
Right,
about as
right.
specific as I can
Totally,
get
man.
there.
And here we have the ghost dance, right?
Yeah, with all the dancers. The Haunted Mansion dancers are always my favorite part of the Halloween parade. The ghost dancers are just the coolest. So to get to be a little more up close and personal with them was just really cool. I also got to drive the float behind them that the hitchhiking ghosts are standing on. So it could just as easily be me inside the Haunted Mansion float. Because 2 years ago, I got to, most times I'm driving the push title unit. But since I am can drive all of the things driver, 2 years ago they had me as a kind of a substitute so I could do this, that, and the other, and got to do just about all the floats in the Halloween parade at one point or another. So that's fun.
Wow, that is fun. Is that your
Variety.
favorite parade to do?
Tough. I don't know. I love them all equally.
Yeah.
They're just different.
Now, how many parades do I know? There's the electrical light parade, or
Which
there
is
was.
gone. Yeah. We
Gone.
sent it back to California and it retired from there.
I do remember that one vividly because Lexi was quite small, and I was just blown away at the music coming out of the trees or wherever magical place it was, and
Hidden
every
speakers
float.
everywhere.
Yep, and the floats lights being coordinated with the music that repeated, and I mean it was a technical miracle. And we're talking a while ago here. Now, is this one of your friends? Let's go back to that one, Chad. Is this one of your friends?
That is obviously that's Prince Charming, but
Right.
I got to go to Cinderella's ball. I was one of the dancers that got invited to dance down the street, and that was like my dream role. I had started in the electrical parade helping the mice, and it was very hot and very tiring, and I mean magical to be in a parade at all, but like that was a really rough one. And I had never done anything that was like my face showing, let alone as a girl. Like so I just wanted to be one of the pretty girls in the cupcake dresses, as I called them. So I finally got my dream. I remember the day they I had my costume fitting on my birthday. Now that I think of it, that was the best birthday ever. I had my dress fitting for that, and I got the call that I was going to get to learn the day parade also on my birthday. Best day ever. They're putting this cupcake dress on me, and I'm like beauty pageant crying because I was so happy. I get to be a girl in a wig and a dress.
So I'm looking at you here, or are you who am I looking at here? A friend of yours, Cinderella, or?
Oh no, that's not Cinderella. That's just me with Prince
a
Charming.
dancer. Okay, well you could be. So this is Hannah. Okay, with
that's
Prince
me
Charming.
invited to the ball.
Okay.
I can't tell which. I used to choose a different name for every different color wig I had, just for like mix it up, be a different character in each different color wig. Because we got a different color dress and a different color wig every time.
And I think we have you in a different role.
I snatched Prince Charming for that.
Oh wait, and here's there's
the mice, Jacques and Gus Gus. They're the cutest.
You're friends with these guys, right? Yeah, cute. They are cute.
Very happy memories playing with them.
That's
just me. This is my profile picture for a while. I love this picture. They let us take pictures when they knew the electrical parade was leaving, so that we would
Right.
have, for posterity. So
Oh, I didn't even
I
notice
couldn't decide if I wanted, yeah, I couldn't decide if I wanted Mickey for a picture or Prince Charming, but I decided, oh, Prince Charming, try the shoe on me, please. And the look on his face, like, eh. And Mickey going, what is she doing? Like,
Yeah,
that's
I kind of like
par for
Mickey's
the
uniform
course. I
as
know, I
well.
love that picture. So that is my driver costume. That is what we wear, either shorts or pants.
Right.
Um,
So how long ago did the electrical parade leave?
it's been gone since 16, I think.
Oh,
It left in
really?
October of 16. Yeah, it's
Wow.
been a while and I can't believe it.
Those lucky ducks in California?
I know. They used it for, I think, like a year and then we retired it
Oh,
from there. It's probably still sitting in a warehouse somewhere in
yeah. Have
Arizona.
you
I don't know.
now have you personally have you been to the California Disneyland? The
Once,
original
yes.
one?
I'd never been, and so I went for my birthday a couple years ago, and we got to do. They weren't running any parades at that time because it was
Right.
February, so they were
Right.
in rehearsals for a new parade opening for the summer. But
Right.
we still got to do a backstage tour there, not like a paid guest tour, but I
Mm,
talked to one of my managers who has a friend that's a parade manager out there.
yeah.
So a lot of times we do exchange programs. We'll get people from
Okay.
California, once in a while, even from Paris.
Wow.
Um, to come and watch how we put on a
Mm,
parade. So we got to do a backstage tour of their parade facility and watch see their float storage building and walk the route with the manager and get to talk to a bunch of people. So I was expecting, like 2, maybe 3 hours, 5 hours later. So we got an extensive tour. I mean, the costume building,
right.
the where everybody puts on their makeup.
Sure.
It was really, really cool to get to see all of
Right.
that, especially because there was quite a few of us and we were all drivers or parade captains who assist along the route,
Well, you got to
or
enjoy the park.
dispatchers.
You got
Hmm?
to enjoy the park, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Did you do the
So
Matterhorn? That's the one I like
no,
up there.
I don't like roller
Oh,
coasters.
ah,
Abuse
ah,
me. I know. I'm sorry.
ah.
I'll do if I'm feeling particularly adventurous. I will do Big Thunder Mountain, the runaway train. That's about as
Won't
scary
do
as
Space Mountain?
no, never done it.
Really?
Nope.
It only goes 30 miles an hour, I read. It just seems
I'll
like
believe it, but yeah.
it just seems
I
like
did Splash Mountain once and will never again. I should have sent you the picture. I tried they did the new Snow White Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, which
oh,
is
okay. Yeah.
not like a big scary coaster, but
Right.
was still enough that I was like, all right, I'll try this once. So I'm on it with my cousins and the 2 little kids are like, wee! And I'm like hanging onto the side going, ah, in the picture. So when people say, why don't you like roller coasters? I show them this picture of me going,
Now I'm a big fan. I like huge, fast, launch, whatever kind of roller
yeah,
coaster. I love coasters.
we got several of those.
Do you know what I forgot to do at the very beginning of this show? I mentioned your mother, Ellen, who has performed for us when we had the Follies in Utica. Wonderful actress, talented, gifted director. But today's a very special day for her
It's her
because her
birthday.
birthday. So if you know Ellen Marincic, you call her, text her, Facebook her, and say happy birthday. And she watching tonight, you think? Did you tell her you were going to be on? Okay, good. Hi, Ellen. Are you watching for deer? Here's the deal. When Ellen did a show for us at the Follies, um, it was during the fall, I think it was. And for those of you watching from out of the area, we're in the middle of a giant state park area here. And Utica, where the Follies was, is kind of just a half mile from these big parks. So in the fall, the roads are loaded with deer. So every night, I didn't even realize I was doing it. And I think it's a regional thing, but give her a hug goodnight. And she's, taken off to drive home. And I'd say, hey, watch for deer. And like a year later, I ran into her and she goes, watch for deer. I go, what? And she goes, you always said that to me every night, watch for deer. So to this day, I say, are you watching for deer? Anyway, happy birthday, Ellen.
Different kind of deer, right?
Yeah, different kind.
This deer.
Different kind. Yeah. Anyway, happy birthday. I want to go back to those auditions you were talking about. So walk us through what auditions for the Voices of Liberty or any of the the groups better than I do. So for instance.
The regular auditions just to become a character performer, and then with
Right.
the opportunity for becoming a dancer in parades, that kind of thing, just the regular entertainment department. They have auditions here every couple of weeks. They have auditions that roam around the country.
Right.
There's a short dance combination. There's what they call an animation exercise that's pantomime, like how well can you tell a story just with your body,
Right.
because obviously that's a lot of what we have to do.
Right.
And then after that, there's option to stay for a harder dance combination, or to have your picture taken if they think you look like someone. But that audition is other than that, pretty standard.
Mm-hmm.
Then they do have auditions here and sometimes around the country. In select larger cities, they'll have auditions for cruise line, which same thing, whether it's for character performing or equity kind of stuff. They have the equity auditions here for vocalists for like Voices of Liberty or the Dapper Dans, the Barbershop Quartet on Main Street. Shows like the Beauty and the Beast show at Hollywood Studios, or the Little Mermaid show, because she sings.
Right.
They have dancer auditions for same thing, like the Beauty and the Beast show that has equity dancers. The show in front of the castle in Magic Kingdom. But even seasonally, there's separate Halloween shows, Christmas shows, that kind of thing, that have separate vocalist or dancer
So
auditions.
there's a lot of auditions happening a lot of the time.
All the time. Absolutely. For various things across property. And part of that depends on how long a contract the last time was, when they need more people. If they need more people, since it's equity, they're legally obligated to have an open call at least once a year for any offering, whether they need people or not. So
now every holiday season, I don't know what the name of it is, but there's a celebrity person who reads the Christmas story, and then a huge choir, and you've been part of that. What is that choir called?
The show is the Candlelight Processional at Epcot, because we all have our little battery operated candles.
Okay.
So they have
Let's look at that picture of Hannah in the choir, and
probably making a weird face. Yep. And I think that was the night I was about 10 feet away from Gary Sinise. That's been cool. Yep. Speaking of celebrities, I've gotten to see a lot of celebrities up close and personal. There's Gary. I'm standing right next to that guy on the end there.
Okay.
Just out of frame in that picture, but yeah, they have a celebrity come and do a narration, basically reading the story of Christmas. And there's a 50-piece orchestra and 6 herald trumpets and guest choirs from all around the country. High school choirs, college choirs, community choirs that audition to be able to come and perform. And then they have the Voices of Liberty down in front, and then a tree shape. So we're in green robes because we're the Christmas tree in the back. Have a choir made up of just regular cast members, which is really cool, because without having to be equity, we still get to sing and perform and be up on the stage. And it's like me in entertainment standing next to somebody from custodial, who's standing next to a food and beverage manager, who's standing next to, it's just everybody. So it's really, really cool. Neat way to meet people from a bunch of different departments who are also into the arts. So I've made a lot of friends that way too.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Now, it seems like, now you go way back with Disney. We have a picture of you where you're literally friends with Cruella de Vil. Do you have that one, Chad? This cracked me up.
I was going through pictures last time I was home. This is when we went in 1999, when I was 11. That's me meeting Cruella de Vil, being extra as usual. So if there was ever any doubt as to my level of nonsense.
And look at her footwear.
Started me early.
That was long before kinky boots was even a thing.
Yep. And that also might have been, I know they had a version out for a while where she had an outfit more like Glenn Close from the live action one than her regular outfit. But all of them change over the years. The princesses have gotten updated dresses and new hairstyles.
Stuff like that.
Makeover from time to time.
You know what? I love backstory stuff. And when Wicked came out, I am a big fan of the Gregory Maguire book. And I'm like, how are they going to turn that into a musical? And they did. But I felt that Maleficent with Angelina Jolie I loved that movie. I
Mhm.
thought it had heart. It was gorgeous. I even liked the sequel. Oh, you're ready for anything, aren't you?
Well, because the dragon's my favorite. Maleficent is the dragon. Maleficent's my favorite villain. So
Oh, that's right. That's right. She
she turns
turns
into
into
the
that.
dragon. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's
But
chasing Prince Philip down the street.
okay. I forgot that from the
Some
original. But
sometimes if she's misbehaving, I may or may not promise her that she can eat the prince at the end of the road if she'll just do what she's supposed to. Like we bribe her.
yeah, we got spare princes. You can
It's
do that.
fine.
Yeah, that was good. But I always find the villains very interesting, and I see that Disney has capitalized on that lately. They had the whole villain celebration, or whatever. That's central to Halloween, or usually central to Halloween too, right?
Usually you see more villains out around Halloween, but the
Right.
past, I think it was 2 years ago, they started having special separate ticketed events in the spring that were just
Oh,
featuring villains.
fun,
So
fun.
yeah.
Now these parades you do, got Christmas, of course, the big Christmas parade. Have we looked at that picture, the Very Merry Christmas parade? Because that's a very pretty one. Um,
Oh yeah, that wasn't the parade. I mean, I have
oh,
assisted with the Christmas parade here and there, but that was just
right.
at one of the parties.
Oh,
Santa's elves came to say hello
oh, so you were an
and
elf.
double checking if children were naughty or nice.
Oh, fun, fun.
So
Huh.
the elves were just running around Fantasyland taking selfies with people. It was amazing.
Well, that's fun.
They were
And
cute.
the holidays there are huge with the crowds
Yeah,
and everything
yeah.
else. Yeah. And then 4th of July, you have also, or during the season around the 4th of July, the, what is that parade called?
They have
Uh,
special fireworks for
right,
4th of July, but I think the picture you're thinking of is that's just from the electrical parade. They added
the
that
electrical.
for yeah, that was the regular electrical parade. They added
Okay.
that float in because that parade
Uh,
came out in the 70s. I think they added that for the
the bicentennial,
bicentennial. I
1976. Yeah.
want to say they added that for the bicentennial.
I'm old enough to
Is
remember
she a real
that.
old float?
And this is you as a performer. Uh,
Yep.
yep, dancing along. How long does the choreography take to learn for these parades? I know that I mean, there's varying degrees of difficulty, like the
Mhm.
ballroom dancers and things like that. But at what point does it all get put together? And is that after the park closes?
Usually your first couple rehearsals are just early in the morning at one of our rehearsal facilities, like behind Frontierland.
Yeah,
And you are paired with, they have quite a few maintenance choreographers who are the ones who teach you the choreography, not necessarily the people who came up with it
right,
originally, although some of them do.
right,
So you probably have, depending on what the choreography is, 2 or 3 rehearsals just in the mornings. And then sometimes they'll have one of the drivers come in too, and they have a like deconstructed float that
right.
is literally just wheels and speakers uh,
Yeah.
just to use for rehearsal so you can practice moving, because obviously learning it on static on a dance floor is much different than learning how to move it down the street.
Yeah.
um, we like to say in parade orientation that parades are a Broadway show on wheels, essentially,
Hmm.
that's 2 minutes and 27 seconds long, 17
Yep.
times in a row. So you have rehearsals where you'll go around the building in
Right,
limited costume parts and pieces with one
sure.
of the drivers just to kind of start to learn how to move it.
Mhm.
And
It's like
then
when
we
you're
put
rehearsing
everything together. Yeah,
yeah, it's like when you're rehearsing a show and the women, it's a period show like Hello Dolly, and they have long skirts. At some point, you've got the rehearsal skirts to put on everybody, so
for sure, for sure.
the costume isn't a shock to them.
Yeah.
And the first
Skirts,
time the
shoes,
skirt, shoes, the whole
that
bit.
kind of thing. Yep.
So the first time that float moves down the street without an audience, is that done after hours to
Yes.
give it a
Yes.
test? How
So
many
your
times?
dancers rehearse together and kind of do
Yeah.
their thing. Driver training is totally separate because we never want to put a brand new driver with also brand new dancers. That's just asking for trouble.
Yeah.
So driver training is a whole separate animal. But then
Yeah.
they do once they do know the choreography, then we have 2 or 3 overnights after the park closes and everybody's gone. We put
Mhm.
people on the floats, in front of the floats, whatever, and actually go through the park as if we're
Yeah.
doing a real parade. Again, we'll usually do one night in just limited costumes and then another one in full makeup, wigs,
Right.
everything.
Dress rehearsal.
That have for sure. And then people get approved. The show director's there then that last night and will officially approve people
Right.
Or give notes, that kind of thing.
Wow. I'm looking at our picture run here. But okay, now you went down with the college program, did you say?
Mhm.
For some, tell us about that, because we get a lot of students at IVCC that think they want to do that. We've had some that have a while back. And this refers, I know, to the auditions that we have in Chicago here quite a bit as well. But tell us about that college program briefly, how that
It's
works.
sadly on hiatus at the moment, just
Well, I
because
figured, yeah.
packing college students into, 2 and
Yeah.
3 to a bedroom is probably not a good idea right now.
Yeah.
But normally, oh my gosh, do it. It's a like 5 or 6 month program, but you can apply to stay longer than that if you want. So it's a really great way to kind of dip your toes in and kind of get a feel for the Disney culture and how things work. Plus, Disney just looks really good on a resume. I'm not going to lie.
Right.
It opens a lot of,
Right.
people ask questions. So yeah, you just apply online and you then have a phone interview with someone, and you
Okay.
can pick, I would like to work at one of the restaurants, or I would like to work at one of the attractions and load people on
Right.
and off the rides. Entertainment is the only thing that then has a separate audition in addition to the regular interview process, but they provide housing. So, because if you're only going to be there for 6 months, you're never going to find a place that's
Right.
going to sign a lease
Right.
for 6 or 7 months. So,
And you do get paid for that,
um,
right? It's a paid
mhm,
internship, sort of, yeah.
it's paid less than everybody else because
Well,
they're
yeah.
college interns. But yes, it's a paid
Right.
paid internship. But it's
Right.
just such a great experience because you meet people literally from all over the world
Oh,
that you're
sure.
working with, let alone guests. But there's kind of a really healthy international student exchange kind of program
And
too.
is there a large percentage of them that go on to become lifers or permanent employees? You,
Yep.
I know.
It seems like after a college program, either people never come back or
Right.
they're there for the next 30 years.
I
But
know both types. I know
uh-huh,
both
uh-huh.
types.
But yeah, it's just a really, really great way to start because like I said, it's a 6-8 month commitment just to kind of
Right.
dip your toes in and get a
Where do
feel
you hope
for
to
what it's
go
really like.
with it? Now, a gentleman from Princeton, did you know Paul Christofferson? He would have been
Hmm.
substantially older
He
than you, I
was
think.
he was a dancer and a performer in parades for quite a
Right.
long time. But when I started in parades, he was
Mhm.
a parade captain, which is
Right.
a coordinator kind of level, like an assistant
Right.
manager kind of thing. So they make
Right.
sure that everybody's where they need to be, where when they need
Right.
to be. And
Right.
then they're stationed along the parade route in case any of the performers have issues, costume
Right.
trouble or are not feeling well, something like that, and need to be
Right.
taken off. Or if float's about to miss the turn, they can kind of assist people. That's, all part of their job. So they do a lot of
Right.
stuff. So
Right.
yeah, Paul was a veteran parade captain by the time I started.
Right.
So
Because I know he
yeah,
was
I
down
had
there a
a
long, long,
long
long
time. Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So what's your, or do you even think about, well, you must think about it, but what area would you like to be in event? Are you planning on staying there and hopefully becoming management of some kind or assistant management or
Every year I re-sign my lease. I think, one more year. One more year. I'm not quite done yet. So, and here I am like 10 years later. So, I don't know. And that's kind of the great thing because I didn't move down here thinking, yeah, I want to be a float driver. Like that
well,
wasn't
no.
even I didn't even know that was a thing. And
Yeah.
now here I am like
Right.
training new people and teaching the
Right.
parade orientation class for
Right.
people who are, new performers to the parade department.
Right.
So, I'm on the parade safety committee, which never would have occurred to me, but it's a lot of fun to
Right.
be involved even more heavily
Okay.
with making suggestions and changes. So I enjoy what I do. I would love to look into at least like captain status or management
Right.
someday. I
Right.
don't I'm just kind of along for the ride at this point because there are so many things that can happen in places you get taken that you
Well,
never
sure.
even would have thought of or knew were a thing. So
Or a new show is created where you can use your magnificent singing skills and yeah,
sure.
there we go. There we go. So yeah, right. So right now I know college programs off. Crowds are limited. We were talking about this just a little bit. Do you feel safe in the park? You must when you go
Very
in.
much so.
Yeah.
Um, The only place that I personally think gets a little hairy potentially is like the gift shops, because they can control how many people are in the building, but it's harder to
Right.
keep people 6 feet away when they're excited looking at
Yeah.
merchandise. But
Yeah.
all the lines for the rides and stuff have clear markings on the ground, stand
Mm.
here. And they did remember not just forward and back, but also side to side.
Oh, well, that's good.
And put up, yeah, because some places don't.
Yeah.
Very well thought out, extended queue lines. There's a ton of hand sanitizer dispensers everywhere before and after. And every like 2 hours or so, they'll close the ride down for 5 to 10 minutes and take their little antibacterial sprayer thing
Yeah.
and spray all the stuff down. So, um,
I know and you're
as long as people are behaving, they have it thought out very well.
right. And this time of year, which you said is typical anyway with the back to school thing, but I think the pandemic probably has a lot more to do with it than usual, which is a lot of locals are coming, Floridians and surrounding
Mhm.
states that can drive in and do a couple days and not
Yeah,
have to mess with the airport and the airplane and all those
for sure.
variables that go with traveling right now. I know.
Yeah. We get a lot of international guests usually. So
Mm.
obviously with no international travel really happening right now, that's cut down quite a bit. But
Yeah.
like you said, it also is back to school time. So the beginning of September is usually really dead anyway, just because
Right.
nobody wants to take the kids out of school like the
Right.
first week.
Well,
So it'll be interesting as Halloween approaches, but there's not Halloween parties happening. They still are
yeah.
they've pulled out some extra Halloween characters to do
Okay.
their little cavalcade down the street kind of thing.
Right.
So there still is some fun stuff going on. They're at least trying, which I appreciate.
Right.
Um, Acknowledging the holidays, and they're going to do the same thing for Christmas, which is nice. They'll
Right.
still have Santa Claus come down the street, and they'll have some of the toy
Well,
soldiers out. So
you
that'll be fun.
gotta have
But
Santa.
I know it's not Christmas without Santa, and it's not
I
Halloween
know.
without Jack Skellington. So we got them both covered. So
So
we'll see
I,
when Christmas time comes what crowds do. That I
what I
think
get
will
a
be
kick out
very.
of is how you. I mean, I wish we had these. Well, we do plan parties like we want to have a Grey Gardens party, but that's not exactly an upper. But I see you all the time, posting, "Hey, I'm going to go to the Roaring Twenties event and it's not at Disney, it's some ballroom
Mhm.
or whatever. I mean, not so much this year, obviously, but I Orlando is a fun place to just be. And if you're social like you and you have friends that you make throughout and you're all creative people, sounds like fun, right?
Oh my gosh, yes. Half the things are just like at my friend's house or at my house. Like we'll just
Right.
get all gussied up or have a theme party or whatever.
Yeah.
Last week, mom was down and we went. They were showing Clue at one of it's a live theater, but they show old movies occasionally just for extra income. So
Right.
we dressed up and they had a costume contest and mom won. She was the chef, the cook.
Oh, well,
So
oh, that's the picture you posted of her today.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, sure.
But look what happened to the cook. So there's always stuff going on, whether it's just me and my buddies or
Right.
parks doing stuff, or we'll just get
Yeah.
dressed up, or there's a really great theater scene because there's a lot of just
Mhm.
at the moment obviously, but
Right.
normally a lot of really good regional theaters in the Orlando
Sure.
area.
And
um
tours come through there.
yeah, and I mean
Broadway
even
tours.
things like murder mystery dinner shows
Hmm.
and even some of the touristy stuff like Madame
Hmm.
Tussauds in the aquarium, and like there's no shortage of things to do.
Yeah. Now, living in Orlando, I performed in Branson for a couple of years. Branson, Missouri, the entertainment capital of
Hmm.
Missouri, and oh, very popular destination. And there came days where I was like, um, my life is surreal. Now, I was a lot older than you when I went down there, um, because that was just in 2001 and 2002 to 2003. But like driving to the theater for my second show, here's the Hollywood Wax Museum on this side with Kong crawling up the side, and there's miniature golf over there with water blowing, and ride the ducks, those
Hmm.
amphibious things, 50 people wah, wah, with the duck
Hmm.
call. And I'm sitting in traffic, I remember one day thinking, why in the hell do I live in this place that it's so weird? I mean, it's fun to visit, but living there, nothing was authentic. Nothing seemed real. And I would go home and close my door to my condo and go, okay, this is good. This is good. But you left there and you're always exposed to the neon and everything like that.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel that way about Orlando, or are you rolling with it?
Yes and no. I mean, I have to drive past some tourist trap gift shops to get from home to work, but
Yeah.
you want to talk about surreal? Try driving a fire breathing dragon through the park in the middle of the night with no one else in the park. And you're like driving by the castle that's still all lit up, and you're like, what is my life? Or like, I distinctly remember one night I was in my cupcake dress, I think, or else I was driving, it
Uh-huh.
doesn't matter. We were waiting for the parade to go out, and they have a projection show on the castle,
Uh-huh.
and it had the pretty lanterns from Rapunzel from Tangled.
Mm.
And I distinctly remember one night standing there holding hands with Peter Pan, watching the lanterns go on the castle and thinking,
Yeah.
what is my life? Like,
Yeah.
just
What
it's
what is this? Yeah.
crazy. I
But
know, but it not.
um,
The strange thing is, it never gets old. You would think that knowing how everything works would ruin the
yeah.
magic, and
Yeah.
somehow it doesn't. I can't explain it, but it
I think
just.
I think I know what you mean,
I
because
still get just as excited.
the stuff is so high tech there. It's so advanced, and technology and me, we are strangers, but um
I said earlier,
I'm
technology is great when it works.
when it works. Yeah, we almost didn't get on the air tonight. But the I'm fascinated by how intricate all of that, of course, the animatronics and stuff like that, but just the coordination of everything, and how far ahead of the game Disney has always been, with the technical aspect and the computerized stuff. I mean, that's just mind blowing to me. I don't think I get tired of the behind the scenes and when they create something new or upgrade something. Uh,
I wish
how
you could be on the radio. I wish you could hear our parade radios on a daily basis,
uh,
because it's either a perfect parade and goes off without a hitch, or everything that could possibly go wrong.
did you
I
forget
have
what I
so many stories.
did you forget what I do for a living, darling?
That's true. I'm sure you have plenty of
It's
fun
like a
radio
two
calls too.
a 2 hour show, and it's like, yeah, we're going great, and then everything goes to hell, and it's like, ooh, you're running, and that's how I stay in
Yeah.
shape. Yeah.
This float broke down, and the beast's pants are falling down, and the things. Oh my goodness. Or the Wi-Fi flickered, and now all of the float audio is out of sync. So Peter Pan is doing the Highland Fling to Merida's music. I mean, we have seen it all. But
Well,
we kind of equate parades with a duck that is, elegantly gliding down the parade route, but underneath
right?
the feet are
Yeah.
furiously paddling, and the radio
Um,
calls are, what's going on? Or
yeah.
it pours down rain out of nowhere. It's great.
Oh, I know. Florida does get lots of rain. I know.
Oh yeah.
Um, we're almost out of time here, which I hate because it's fun. Um, I do have a very quick question. Tinkerbell still fly? Uh,
When fireworks are going, yeah.
when fireworks are going? So
Yeah,
this
she
year,
flies as part of the fireworks show.
so Tinkerbell's grounded this year.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
now.
I was always, that was always, I thought, if I could be friends with somebody, I think that would be the gig that I would enjoy if I weighed 85 pounds and was
I think it's cool
well,
to drive by the castle, but imagine flying out of the castle and over the huge crowds of people
yeah,
watching the fireworks. It's got to be
because
cool.
it always looks like shot out there,
Hmm.
it's an amazing sight. I remember I almost believed, I was like, almost Peter Pan.
We're
Um,
doing our job.
Yeah, I know. Well, Hannah, delightful talking to you. Thank you so much for being a guest tonight. And again, happy birthday to your mom.
Happy birthday, Mom. Thanks for
Did you
having me. This was so much fun.
did you call her today? Did you
Of
call her and say,
course.
yeah,
Of
yeah,
course. I
you
sang
talked to her a lot.
very off key. She loved it.
Oh, she loves that.
We intentionally sing horrendously off key just to torture each other. It's great.
Well, Hannah, again, thanks. And everyone, thanks for watching. Remember, you can share this video from our YouTube, Facebook, IVCC Fine Arts. Make sure you like, or from our YouTube channel, IVCC Fine Arts. Make sure you like our Facebook page, IVCC Fine Arts. It's not just about IVCC, it's about things going on all over the country. We are keeping this IVCC living room, stage, and gallery alive and well. We'll be back with more guests next week. And if you got suggestions for guests, go ahead and send them to me. And don't forget, we're still taking auditions and names for the Halloween show, which will go up next month, all pre-recorded safely. So thank you so much for watching. Once again, Hannah, best of luck down there. Stay safe.
Thank you.
And thank
You too.
so for the living room, stage, and gallery, thank you, Chad, for being our technician. We're gonna say good night for now. Oh, but do we sing the Mickey Mouse? MICKEY.
MOUSE.
And Chad's gonna take us out of here with our